Hey everyone, AmberFrmThVault here. Welcome to another brand new Animal Crossing New Horizons video. Sorry, I always get thrown off when I see the little dance. It is so cute. But here we are. We are on Hope Cove. Of course, that is my home island, and we are about to look at spring. So we are doing a little dance here to welcome spring coming in. We're going to go ahead and check out the island here. Now, keep in mind that obviously it is not totally spring in the real world, maybe, at least not where I live. But even though it's March, we're going to go ahead and jump into the future, and we're going to go ahead and play in April. So we're going to go ahead and come in here. Of course, we always start at the airport, and we're going to just notice right away that I kept the same type of entrance. You're going to notice that a lot of things haven't changed on this island. I didn't want to get rid of a lot of the work that I had already put in, but you will notice that there are a few things that have changed. You'll see those as we go through. As we come in here, we still have our lovely little pink flowers, we have our trees, and then right into the plaza. Of course, if you have a map similar to mine, you probably already know that because you can't control where the plaza is, our plaza is so close to the airport that it prevents you from having like a really cool grand entrance like some people's islands have. I'm just gonna have to accept that. I get it. I'm cool with it. Let's go ahead and keep going. So you might notice that there are a couple things different if you watched the winter video, most notably the location of my house, which we'll talk about when we get there. But we're gonna go left first because I think it's a little bit more fun to go to the left. Now, typically my beaches are pretty intense. I put a lot of stuff on my beaches. You're not going to find a lot here. Remember, we're still in spring, so I kind of just have them on minimalist right now. There's a few things out, but I'm not going to go crazy. So we're going to come over here, and of course we are in cherry blossom season, so we've got a couple pink trees. We've also got our fruit trees, and we're going to stay on this level now as we come around and check out our villagers' houses and come down to one of my favorite new parts. This is my little carnival. Of course, you can go ahead and come over here and meet with Cabin, but if you would like to, you can also go and visit the carnival. Get yourself some lovely candy, maybe get yourself some popcorn, and then of course you can ride the rides. I wish that we could actually ride the rides. It would be so cool if we actually could, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I love this. I think it's really cute. I went with the colorful set. I'm so happy that we can now actually change the colors of things. It's so awesome to be able to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and just check out the rest of this beach real quick. Like I said, it's very minimalist right now. Remember, we're still in spring, so we're probably not gonna be hanging out on the beach too much. I mean, it is a deserted island that we've kind of turned into a bustling little, I don't know what you'd call it here. Village? I think I'm gonna go with village. It's not really a town, but that doesn't exactly mean that we have a lot of population necessarily on the beach. So we're gonna go ahead and just keep those minimal. But I do want to show too, I'm really trying to hit the flowers big, you know, April showers, spring, May flowers. I want to make sure that we're definitely doing a lot of flowers. Now, you may notice I've got some little hidden elements here that depending on how you look at them, you can't see them, and I love it. We're gonna go ahead and come into the farm now. Now, this is one of my favorite new parts. I am in love with the farm. I can't tell you how much time this took. But on top of how much time this took, how much love went into creating this farm. I usually don't do buildings like this in my game. I usually just actually put another character on and then build a building. But this time I decided to go with something a little bit more different, and I actually made some building pieces. Now, of course, this is just going to be, you know, bookcases, and we've got the storefront and a couple other ones, but I think that it turned out really cool. I like the way it looks. If we go into the camera mode here, I really like the way it looks. I think it turned out to be a pretty cool option. Now, I did go ahead and put a lot of different items here that I think are kind of cool. I've got the different items, of course, for the farm area itself, and I have to say, I'm a little bashful because honestly, I think it looks a lot better than I expected. We've got the covered wagon, we've got the well, we've got all of the different veggies, and of course, we've got our different, like the boxes, the crates that look like they have fruit or veg in them, and then we've got, of course, our scarecrows. I almost forgot the word scarecrows. And if we want to go ahead and process some of our grain, we can do that. And then we have a little orchard over here. I just went ahead and put just a small amount of fruit trees in. Now, realistically, I'm not really picking my fruit very often. It wouldn't be very easy to collect fruit in that area, and I know that, but I'm not really collecting it that often. Now this does end here, and we're going to go ahead and ignore that part over there for now. I want to actually just go ahead and go right back down. And the reason we're going to go back down is because if you remember seeing the Winter Island, you might remember that this is a little bit weird to navigate. Different parts of this island are kind of hidden in different areas. I really wanted to go for the feeling of it being really, really separated. I really like that when I've been visiting other people's islands recently. So I went for something that was a little bit separated here. So now we've got an actual house here, but this is what I love. I built, oh, no, can't see it. I always forget that the camera doesn't actually go through trees. I wish it would. Because I built a little mining area back there. So I've got a little old mine shaft and I've got the mine cart, and I just think it's really fun. I really like that as kind of a background hidden element. And then of course we come up, and just like we were in the winter, we've got our wonderful museum up here. You can go ahead and get some snacks if you would like to while you're up here. And then we can go ahead and just visit with flowers. Now, typically you don't need to go down over here, but if you wanted to, say there's a flower we want to pluck, if you want a gold rose or something like that, we can go ahead and use the vines. Those vines have become one of the most useful tools here in New Horizons now after that DLC. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over here, and just to show you how everything may be separated, but it is also connected, here's the farm. We just used another vine. So I have vines everywhere. The goal was to make everything basically connected via vines or being able to jump from one part to another. And we'll kind of see that as we go through here. So right here we have a bunch of flowers. This is basically just an area that, you know, it's just kind of an extra spot, but it goes up to what I used to do, or I used to have, as my home area. You might notice that I kind of left this a little bit more wild. It's got some weeds, it's got the rocks here, it's also got some flowers and some grass and into the ground, and I put some wild vegetables in different places. And we do have one house back here, also you can get up there. Storage shed, which honestly, these are the best things in the world. These storage sheds are amazing. I am so happy they put those in the game. But this area is just meant to be a little bit extra wild. I wanted to kind of have a park feeling here. So there is the benches, and it just has a little bit of a, I think this is a cute place to stop and take photos kind of feeling. Now, this used to be where I would come up and down on that vine, and my house was over here. If you remember in the winter version, it's no longer here, and I'm sure that you may understand why. It wasn't the most convenient place, even though it was a really cute place to have my house. It is really easy to get around in these areas because, like I said, there is a vine everywhere, not to mention the fact that almost all of this is connected. Remember that gem and that cart? They're over there. There's my little old mine, and if we come through here, you can see we're back at the farm. So it is very interconnected. It's not that it's difficult to traverse by any means, it's just that it is a little bit out of the way. So I did decide to give myself a little bit of a home makeover outside as well as in my location. This is another one of my favorite little spots. It's just my little heart cliff. Let's see. Oh, I love it. I love how cute the little hearts are. I used to have heart ponds everywhere, but now I'm sticking with the heart land masses. I think they're kind of cool. So before we actually go up any farther and take a look up there, what we're going to do is we're actually going to leave here. And again, you're going to see a lot of fruit and veg just kind of randomly thrown around. I figure if the birds were to eat those things or other animals, they would probably take them and drop them on other parts of the island. So it only makes sense to me that we would find fruit and veg around the island. So we're actually going to come back, and we are going to go back up here. So just in case you're kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, what is wrong with your island? We were just at the museum. There we go. And you can see where we are now. And as we're looking at this, you can see the farm there by the little plots of land. So if you look at the little plots, that's where the actual vegetables are. So we'll go ahead and leave this area. Hi, Fauna. And we're actually going to come back up here. So it may look a little strange, but we are going to run around this side again, past our fair. We're going to say hello to the Statue of Liberty. Hello! And then we're going to come over here. So this is the back side where that farm is, and this is basically just an open area. The reason that this is open right now and I don't have anything in here is because there is a future plan for this area, which I will not detail in this specific video. Let's leave it. All right, let's move on. And you might notice again, we have a little bit more of a wild side. We've got some different flowers, we've got trees, we've got weeds, and that's because this is our new and improved campsite. So if you remember, our campsite used to be way in the back corner on the right side. Now it's actually up here on the hill. I wanted to bring the campsite into an area that was a little bit more private or personal, something that felt a little bit more, I don't know, something that felt a little bit more outdoorsy than what it was before. Not that I didn't like that it had the beach access and everything, it was just really close to a house. It was really close to Maple's house in particular. I wanted to make a campsite that looked a little bit more rugged, had its own little lake, and maybe a bunch of trees, you know, to give it kind of that outdoorsy feel. Also, I really like the fact that it's on the 3rd level, so it's almost a little bit taken away from the other things. And the basic levels, let's go ahead and kind of map here. So here we are at the campsite. So it's almost like it gives you a separation from all of the different homes. So it almost feels like, yeah, this is a campsite rather than just being a camping area. I love the chainsaw. I always try to put the chainsaw in all of my campsites. All right, so we're actually going to come all the way down and come back. And we're going to go past this area of the beach, check out our turtles. I know everybody has turtles. It's just a thing, but I figured it's spring. It'd be cute. I tried to say cute and cool at the same time. It would be cute to throw some of the turtles out on the beach, so I did go ahead and do that. I also added the volleyball court as well as the volleyballs here. We have some more turtles and some more kelp. And then we finally get out to our actual lighthouse. I really like this little lighthouse area because it feels touristy. What I did want to do though is because it's not summer yet, I wanted to keep it a little bit plain, and in the summer it's going to be a little bit more decorated. So this will be very different come summertime. So here we have another little housing area. I tried to do the houses in groups of like 1 or 2. 1 is not a clump, 2 or 3 is what I meant to say. So I tried to keep people in kind of little areas so it almost feels like tiny neighborhoods. And then one thing that I thought was really cute about these little areas is it gives me a chance to kind of landscape the yards a bit. So I have, you know, deer scare, I have some different trees, there's some random potatoes, like I said, random things are all around. And we also have, you know, just a little place to sit. We have our tree, but we also have some stepping stones. Just kind of gives it a little bit of that feel, like, oh, this is a little bit of a neighborhood. So we're going to come across here. We're going to go ahead and stay on our bridge for just a second. You can see that we have a couple of our grass hearts. I really like those. I found those on online, and I love those. I loved using, I guess I should say overusing waterfalls on this island. This is probably one of my favorite versions of an island I've made yet. I really love this one. And Cookie's actually sitting in her chair. That makes me so happy. So we're up here at Cookie's house, and of course it's just a little bit easy to put somebody up on a cliff here. Oh, she's gonna go ahead and do some yoga. Put her up on a cliff, but I really wanted to give her something that felt like she was still part of the neighborhood. So what I did is I did a 2-tier house here with Cookie up there. And then if you come down here, you're gonna have Molly with her little magical duck pond. Of course, that comes from the DLC, which, didn't we just talk about how amazing the DLC is? I really wanted this to be colorful. I love color. I love that this game is so happy, full of color. So I'm so happy that that's what it kind of feels like. All right, so you might notice as I came up that vine here where I am, this is the old spot where my house was, but now my current rock garden and just my little park is here. So again, just showing how everything is interconnected, even though it may not always seem like it. Let's go back down that vine. All right, and then we are back by Molly's house, and we're actually going to move into a new area here. You may notice that there's an archway here. We're going to skip the archway, and what we're actually going to do is this side. And we have a new area. So this is one of the things I really wanted to build in here. I wanted to make an old ruined church. I thought this was just kind of fun because if you think about it, some ruins would be really fun to have in the game. They went ahead and threw like the church pews in there and the big, obviously these are from the whole wedding update, but I feel like having the organ and all that kind of gives it a feeling, but there's also a random skull and the candelabra, and you can also do some cooking back here, which I thought was kind of fun. It gives me the opportunity to cook on the road. But also you might notice that there is a do not enter sign back there. Oh, what are you doing up there, CJ? You do not belong. There's a do not enter sign there, and there's also a do not enter sign there. And in the back there, you may notice there is a wanted sign. Now, we're not supposed to enter, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. That is why I put the vines there. And that's because this leads off to Red's Beach. I wanted to make Red's Beach actually seem like it was an attempt to hide it. Because if you think about it, Tom Nook isn't going to want you to go, so he's probably going to try to hide it. So I went ahead and put the wanted sign and the beware, and I love how cute this turned out. It gives me this feeling like, oh, we have to be a little bit spooked out here. Because of course you got the skeleton and everything. You can also get to this area though by coming through either of these back areas. I went ahead and kind of made these outside of the gosh, what is it called? Island channels. So that this is Molly's house. You may recognize her little pond. You can go ahead and you can always kind of travel through those areas as well. So again, trying to keep things connected, but making sure that by keeping them connected, I'm also giving them the illusion that everything is kind of its own separate place. It was really, really a goal here, and I think it turned out pretty cool. So going ahead and coming around here, you may notice we are back where we went up before and ended up back at the rock garden. So just using some of these random land masses in the middle of areas to kind of separate spaces. And we're going to go ahead and come back here. Now, instead of going to the left and continue, or the right, excuse me, and continuing, we're going to go straight up to Fauna's house and check out her flowers. You can see CJ there. So when we came through earlier, when we left from Red's Beach, and we ended up somewhere, this is where we kind of end up. Oop, let's see. There we go. We can kind of bring ourselves over. Oop, just smacked my whole microphone setup. We can bring ourselves over to where we have Fauna's house. I really like this because it just has like this little cute, oh, it's, you know, kind of in the woods feel. I really like it. But it's really not that far away from the other houses too, so it still has the neighborhood feel. All right, so now we are here. You may notice that there is a campsite sign there, but maybe there isn't actually a campsite there. What could there be? You might remember if you checked out the old video that was the old location of my campsite. So I left the sign there so everyone would know that that's where it was. But right here, we just have our little hidden area. This is one of my favorite spots. And again, to show you how connected everything is, we are right back at the house. So we're going to go ahead, we could get to the rock garden from there, of course. We're going to go ahead and come down here, come through, and let's go check out our old campsite. Let's see what's there now. All right, we're going to hop across. Because of course we have to be careful with how many bridges and inclines we're using. And we are now at Maple's house. If you remember, Maple's house was basically the gateway before when you got to the campsite area, but now no longer is this a campsite area. There's a little fishing spot. You can go ahead and come hang out here. You can do some different crafting. We still have our sword and the stone homage. You have to do this to really get it, but I love it. I think it's adorable. But now back here is actually my house. So instead of having the campsite here, I went ahead and put the player house here. You may notice that there is actually one of the pipes here that takes me directly to the nook. To the nook. I'm trying to go back to the nookling so I can sell things. And if you go back here, there's really not much here, but I did throw a couple of fishing equipments. But you'll notice that I pretty much kept the same fence and everything from when this was the site. It's just basically now, instead of being a campsite, it is for a house. So we can officially say that there is no more campsite. Now, if we come up here and go through, you might remember this. We can go ahead and go down, and we are at Fauna's house. So again, just another little way that everything is connected. You can also go around the back there and just kind of stick on the back perimeter and also get around. So my house is actually not going to be in this video because, as always, these end up being too long as it is, so that will be a separate video, but that is my new location. So just for some kind of perspective here, if we come back here and we look up, we can see Amber's house there. And let's go ahead and keep going down. So you may have noticed that there are two other characters on the map here, and that is because I do have two other buildings here in the actual plaza / shopping area. Now the first one here is actually called Hope Cove Plaza. Now that notice that that's different from the actual plaza that the game put in. We have our Able sisters here. We can go ahead and check that out real quick. But that is right next to this plaza. Let's go ahead and check out what this plaza is. So we have this little cafe out here. You can go ahead and hang out. And then if we go inside of our little plaza, we actually have some different areas we can also explore. Now this is what I'm using my current extra houses. You may remember I used to have a restaurant and a library, but currently I am using them to make some business centers or shopping centers. So this is the first one. This has a doctor's office, it has a hospital, it has an area we're not allowed to go into, it has a gym, and then it also has a movie theater. So we'll go ahead and check out all those different areas and kind of see what's going on here. What I really love about this one, though, is it was really fun to put together because honestly, it's just it's kind of like, how much can I shove in one house? And I really loved that. I loved creating environments that were really dense. I really got the idea after doing so much of the stuff for the DLC because I really had fun doing that, and I wish we could have those buildings on our regular island. Kind of sad that we don't. So I went ahead and built a little doctor's office here. I thought it might be important for our island to have a doctor's office. We've also got our optometrist here. It is a pretty small office, but we figure, there's very few residents here, plus the Nook family. We're going to say the Nook clan there. And then we've also got, me and anyone else who wants to come visit, like when Leif comes or something like that, and then the Able sisters. So there's not a ton of us here, so we probably only need one doctor. All right, then we're going to come back here, and this is actually the hospital area. So should you have anything more serious that the doctor can't handle, you would come over to the doctor. So we've got the accessory wall, or the special wall back there, being the pharmacy. And then, of course, the pharmacy counter. And we've got that doctor desk. I really like that. And then just a little bit of stuff going on here. The security camera, of course, because we've got medications in here. And we don't want anyone stealing it. Not that I don't trust everyone I've put on my island, but, We've also got the wash basin, which to me looked almost like, I don't know, it looked almost surgical to me. I don't know, maybe you wash your tools in there. So there we go. So that is the doctor's office and the hospital. And those two are basically related. Yes, you would not be able to get a gurney from one to the other, but let's not think about that. So moving into now our movie theater, you can go ahead and come in, sit down, have some up and your popcorn and watch yourself a movie. I love this. So these are the bus benches, the transit benches, and then of course it's just a projector. I really think this is cute. I know that it's not really that necessary because your character can't actually watch a movie or anything, but it's really fun to do. I like the idea of having a little movie theater, and I wanted to make mine, instead of being red, which I feel like most movie theaters are, I actually went with blue because this is a little calming movie theater. I originally had the seats pink in there, and because it was closer, and it just didn't look right. I really like the way the blue turned out. All right, so those are our 3 main business areas. So let's go ahead and go down into the basement, and this is going to be the gym. If you think about it, it is both a gym that you could work out at, but it's also maybe like a physical therapy gym. I mean, there is a hospital and a doctor's office, so maybe you need to do some physical therapy and you come down here to do the gym. The safety railing there I'm actually using as a ballet bar. So if you wonder why there's safety railing in the back, that is the purpose. But I've got all the different little weights in here, and I've got the bathroom, and I just think it's a really cute area. If you remember, I used to have a separate gym. It was actually its own building. So this is a little bit smaller, obviously. It's a totally different idea, but I really like the way it turned out. All right, and now you may notice on the map that there's what looks kind of like a stop sign upstairs. We're going to go ahead and go upstairs. We're going to see why we can't go up. Yes, I had a lot of fun here. Oh, look at that. It is a crazy secret laboratory. So Hope Cove has its own secret laboratory. And what's this? Is that a dead body? Yes, there's a cell with a dead body in it. Oh no, and a dirty tank top. I had a lot of fun doing this. So yeah, I made an evil lab. I thought it seemed like a fun thing to do. And I'll be honest, it's not something I would normally do on my island, but I love the way this turned out. I think it's so much fun. But also the fact that you have to get in it by kind of squeezing past. I'm so glad they put the squeezing past mechanic in here. I really like this. It's just basically a bathroom and a vending machine are keeping you from getting in here, and I think that that is so funny. So we'll go ahead and leave now the secret room, and we'll go ahead and head downstairs, and that will end the Hope Cove Business Plaza, which is the full name of what this is supposed to be. But unfortunately, I couldn't put Hope Cove Business Plaza all in the name for the character. And then as we come out of here, remember, oh, it's nice and daytime. We're going to head over to the beach. And over on the beach, we're going to check out this area. You might remember that this was here in the winter as well. But I went ahead and I'm starting to add things because, again, it is finally spring. We can finally start putting things out. And then if we come over here, let's go ahead and go up to the actual Nook stop first. We can go ahead and check it out. So if you want to go hang out at Nook's Cranny, you can go ahead and sit down here. Ta-da! Go ahead and get some money, eat a snack. Well, I guess it's a drink. A drink could be a snack, I suppose. And then, of course, we've got our garbages. I just love how cute the little plaza set is. And then at night, if you need the light, we always have our scooter here. And then I did build a fishing shack here too. I really like this. I think it's really cute, especially when you actually do fishing here. I like the way that this kind of just pulls together some of the themes on the island. Again, trying to do more with less space, trying to make things feel a little bit separated. And we're going to come down to this beach, and you may notice that a lot of these are going to have these hidden music something. It's either going to be a radio or it's going to be that what is it called? I just forgot the name of it. Oh my gosh, I have like 20 of them. How could I forget the name of it? But I hid a lot of those around because I wanted to control the music you were hearing in different spots, and I really like the way that turned out as well. So coming down here, we've got our little gazebo. You can go ahead and kind of hang out here. It also makes for really cute pictures. And if you come up here, though, you're going to notice another house. Now, this obviously is not a house that I live at, but it is a specific player house. We're going to go ahead and check out now the Hope Cove Mall. Yes, I also built a mall. So now at the Hope Cove Mall, we're going to go ahead and kind of check it out here. I tried to put in a lot of the themes you would see at malls. For any of those who are my age, you will definitely remember all the lovely things at the malls. Of course, you always had your public telephones, you had your gumballs, all of your different vending machines. And of course, you always had the massage chair. I had to put a massage chair in there. So I really think this turned out really cute. I like the way it feels like kind of a suburban mall. So there are multiple stores in this one as well. We are going to first, though, go over here. And as we go over here, we're going to find our cafe. So and check out our cafe. Again, keeping these rooms really full. So I can't promise that, they're really that functional, but we do want to keep them really full so that we can kind of get the feeling of them being an actual place. I think it's really fun. And of course, we've got all of the headless workers, which are actually just the outfits which have been placed. I love this. I thought this was so cute. I missed the fact that we had a cafe on the actual vacation island, but we don't have one here. So I thought this was kind of a cute little use of the cafe items. Great. So we'll leave our little cafe, and as we come out, we'll go ahead and head toward the back here. And this is actually the last custom house, I should say. I went down to 2. If you remember from before, I had far more than 2. Here we've just got like a little snack area. So let's go ahead and head back. And this is actually going to be our restroom. Now, if you've spent a lot of time in mall bathrooms, hopefully this will look familiar to you. I think it looks just like a mall bathroom. I kind of love it. I kind of love it. And of course, somebody left this on, so we'll be good and we'll turn it off because we care about the environment. All right, no mall would be complete without a mall bathroom. It's funny, I can viscerally remember so many of them from my childhood. Little electronics boutique, maybe you'd like to buy some, but right now I'm more interested in what the latest fashion is, so I'm going to go ahead and check out our clothing shop. All right, so clothing and accessories. We've got a little store here, of course, with its own custom music. There's a lot to load in here, so it seems to be acting a little jumpy on my end. Hopefully it looks a little better for you. I really liked the feeling of like kind of that cool store, a little bit of that, oh, we think we're underground feel, but really you probably sell the same things everyone else does. But I really liked the idea of having just a little bit of a fashion boutique that wasn't necessarily the Able sisters, because remember they make all their fashions. This one I kind of felt like, I'm going to throw something in that feels a little bit more mallish. All right, so now let's head upstairs, and this one we can go upstairs because our upstairs here is actually a shop, and it is a toy shop, which is totally appropriate for anyone to go into. And I love the toy shop. I know it's very crowded, but I use the tables to try to make multiple height displays because I realized very quick that there's a lot of toys in the game, but not a lot of ways to show them off or to really store them. So I went ahead and made the top floor just different toys you can buy. Now you can argue with me that some of these things are not toys, but I'll just argue back that yes, they are, because I think they're toys. All right, let's go ahead and go down to the basement, and that'll be our last custom area in this custom house. So what could you have in the basement of a mall? Well, what did I have in my last custom house before but an arcade? And of course, we still had to have an arcade. So here is the new arcade. It's in the basement of the mall. A lot of malls do have arcades, so it made sense to me. I went ahead and threw all of the different arcade pieces in here, and I actually think it turned out pretty cool. It feels a little bit chaotic. It's kind of bright. There's some flashy things going on. There's a lot of different musics. This is kind of what my arcade was like when I was a kid that was at the mall. So I really like the way it turned out. I think it's pretty cute. There's obviously a lot more we could stuff in here if we had the ability, but Definitely always an issue with Animal Crossing that it doesn't want to let me put more things. That's okay. I really like the way this turned out. I think it's really cute. It's just fun to mess with. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and leave. That is actually the end of the custom Hope Cove Mall. Bye, Hope Cove Mall. I really like the way that turned out. Gosh, I just really love all of the pieces from the DLC. And then as we come outside, we're gonna go ahead and go around back here. We're gonna see the fish house again. We're gonna see Nook's Cranny again. And then we're gonna come out here and things might start to look familiar again. We are right back at the Plaza. So we did a whole trip around the island. So if we look here, we actually hit all of the different areas. Now you can kind of see why I had to navigate it in a little bit of a weird area, a little bit of a weird way, I should say. I really like the way this turned out, though. I think that it actually ended up being really cute, and I really like the way that the house is now and where the campsite is now. I think it's much preferable to the way I had it before. But that's it. That's the entire island. I know that felt like it went by so much faster than they have in the past, but who knows? I really love this one. I love the way it turned out, and I hope that you guys liked it too. But if you would like to visit it, of course, the dream address is in the description of the video. Go ahead and check it out. You can wander the island yourself. You can run through my flowers and destroy them because it's a dream. No one will question you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. But remember, if you'd like me to visit your island or if you'd like me to check yours out, please leave your dream address in the comments and I will go ahead and visit your island as well. And then you'll get to see my impressions of it in another video.